Hi, this is Anna Imagination. Thank you so much for joining me with Shifting Perspectives. So, I'm talking about let it change. And manifestation really shifted a lot for me. I don't like to just do. For me, I have to understand the theory. And until I understand theory, I'm not okay with it. It nags me. It's the how do you break it down? So I've been spending a lot of my time these last few months analyzing and digging down deep into what is the theory behind manifestation. And I realized that there's a lot of people who are looking to control change. You see this a lot with the fourth perspective, where, well, everyone who's fourth perspective and under significantly focus on controlling change. And how they control change depends on where they are in their stage of growth. A second perspective will try to control change with religion, with praying to God for something to be different. A third perspective will literally use physical or verbal or sexual force. And then a fourth perspective will use laws and rules to try and keep everyone maintained, and then brute force if necessary, if that doesn't work. And then what I see a lot is five, sixes, sevens. Well, not really sevens. Five, six, sevens is a whole nother. As soon as you get over to seven, eight, nine, you just kind of like stop and you go, I have a lot to learn in the world. And sixes, fives and sixes use manifestation a lot to try and control change by making what they want to happen, as opposed to the first four stages of growth going, I want to make it not happen. Instead, you from five and six, try to make what you do want. At the end of the day, you are still pulling from a place of fear. You are still seeking to control change. And the secret with manifestation is let it change. I have been listening to the same Abraham Hicks financial and love and a few other manifestations for about a year now. It's been a solid year that I've listened to this, where it's been extraordinary. And I've been taking what she's been saying and writing down and analyzing each and every one of the things she says. And one of my biggest issues is there's a lot of pause. And this is a fantastic meditation, but it really, the way it's done is really hard to internalize what it is she's actually saying. And one of the things she says that really caught my attention about a week ago was, once you enter into a state of abundance for all and you accept and you celebrate the abundance of others, that is when the shift happens. And then there's a pause because you're meditating. And then she says, this will create the shift. And I go, well, wait a minute. So I sat down and I wrote it all down. What she is talking about is scarcity abundance mindset. Now, we talk a lot about abundance when we talk about manifestation, but we almost never talk about scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset is a massive, huge thing that we invest a lot of time in psychology, because 99% of the fears we have is scarcity based. When you have a child who is starved in their youth, they develop a scarcity fear, a fear of not having enough food. In fact, all fear is scarcity based. All fear is scarcity based. When people say things like fear is the lowest vibrational frequency, you're wrong word. It's not fear, it's scarcity. And it's the polar opposite of abundance. When you grow up in a household where attention was limited because parents were busy with other children, parents were just are detached from you, you experienced a scarcity in attention. If you had a lot of siblings and there was a lot of competition for who got mom and dad's attention, if mom and dad had smaller children or smaller babies, and you, as a middle child, you were probably expected to be self-sufficient. That is scarcity mindset. That is scarcity when you're thinking about, oh, this is people who aren't connecting with me. This is people who aren't, there's not enough attention. And that ends up changing you. It ends up making you think that there's never going to be enough. And that's how we grow up, because as children, we receive all of these messages. There's not enough food. There's not enough time. There's not enough clothes. There's not enough resources. Limited resources is what grooms our poverty mindset. So we start developing this deep internal fear of there is not enough. There isn't enough. There's a shortage of everything. It's like we're constantly living in 1929 and we can't get over that. It's like we're constantly living in this mindset, like we're going to run out of food. We're going to run out of this. And as a result, because we're constantly thinking and feeling and living and existing in a scarcity mindset, we are manifesting our own poverty. So that when you finally decide to switch over into an abundance mindset, You don't realize what it is you're really up against. And what you're really up against is scarcity mindset. What you're really up against is scarcity mindset. People who are huge in monogamy, people who love monogamy, are absolutely all over this concept that sex, that love, that a person loving you is so scarce that they've got to have a rule of monogamy. And that's 100% scarcity nurturing. Monogamy, there is nothing that nurtures scarcity more than monogamy. And then you start thinking and feeling and living like it's scarce. There's frugal living, and then there's scarcity living. There's being smart and responsible with your money, and then there's being irresponsible with it. It's why we binge and purge. Is because in scarcity mindset, it pours and then it rains and it's drought. So you get drought or you get abundance. You get drought, and that's inconsistent, a lack of discipline. We see this a lot with poor people. We see this a lot with scarcity mindset. The one thing that really sets the foundationals apart from everybody else is the foundationals are very poverty-based. They are very, very much got to control everything because everything is scarce. But those are the mindsets of children. We are supposed to be done with the third perspective when we are 3 years old. We are supposed to be done with the fourth perspective when we are 4 years old. So when you have a 45-year-old man walking around acting like a 4-year-old child, it's because he's got the fourth perspective. The fifth perspective is a 5-year-old. The sixth perspective is a 6-year-old. So that by the time we are 7 and 8, we should have our ethics. We should know what we're doing. We should be able to self-govern. But fourth perspective runs the show. So fourth perspective says, nope, this is the perspective. This is the way everyone's got to be. And they do. And they cram us all into their boxes and they make everyone be fourth perspective because fourth perspective thinks that they have all the answers. Well, they don't. Because they haven't grown past stage 4. And now you have people who are at stage 6, 7, 8, 9 going, you don't know how much you don't know. Good God, 7, 8s, and 9s. When we get here, it's like, holy shit, what else is out there? And that's where you're at. When you cross over into 7, 8, 9, it's equivalent to being 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 perspective for that group is equivalent to 7, 8, and 9 of this group. So I'm just sitting here going, I'm scared. I'm not scared. I'm just can't wait to see I can wait. I can wait. I'm happy where I am. I would like to stay here for a while. I'm in no rush to move on. I want to stabilize, and the universe will make me move when I am ready to move, and I will move with it because it is time. And that's ninth perspective, and it's understanding how much control is up here, trust is down here, fear is up here. Love is here. So when you start to realize what's going on, subconscious mind is up here and you're down here. Manifestation is here. But there's a lot of people who are control and fear-based and scarcity-based trying to manifest up here. So they sit there and they blackmail or they condition and they groom their minds, manipulating their minds to manifest, and they're missing the point. It's all down here. It's 100% down here. I was doing an exercise this morning. It's called, How Does This Benefit Me? Try this for your manifestation. It's all coming from your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is really the core of where you want to feel this. And ask yourself the question when you go next to manifest. How does this benefit me? If you're manifesting for something, how does it benefit you? Write down all the benefits. Now, the question is it benefiting you for a fear-based reason to support a fear because you're afraid of losing something? We're back to scarcity. Every time you think about loss is 100% linked to scarcity. Every time you act out of how can I prevent loss from occurring? If you have abundance, you can lose all you want and it's fine. Wait till you get to that realization. That's fun. When you realize that you have so much that you can lose whatever you need to lose, and it's okay because you've got so much more with you and or on its way. So suddenly loss is not loss anymore. It's more of an exchange. It's a trade. Everyone's bartering over here. Whereas over in the foundationals, it's all scrounging around. So there's a lot of scrounging mentality, scarcity mentality, making sure you gain without losing anything. That's all over there. But when you step over here into manifestation, when you're manifesting from down here, you're tapping into karma. You are tapping 100% into the karma bank. So now it's no longer about loss because you're gaining. So you can lose all day long and you'll also be gaining. It's an even Steven. So you stop fearing loss over here because there is no loss over here because you can see how everything is abundant. You can see how everything is very much an exchange of coming in and going out constantly and all the time. Absolutely. And that's it really, is when you're just sitting there and you're embracing it and you're allowing it to just happen. When you try and control it over there, it's because you are nurturing your scarcity. There is so much that you do on a daily basis that is nurturing your scarcity. And you can't be nurturing your scarcity and manifesting at the same time. It doesn't work that way. It will not work that way. So if you really want to get down and honest with yourself about what manifesting is, it's 100% your guidance system right in the core of your chakra. It's in your gut. It's in your identity and what you love. And Christ said it. The Bible is 100% how to manifest in these easy steps, all spoken in 8th and 9th perspective code. Once you can read the Bible like this, it changes everything. But Christ said it. Anything that is asked in my name, his name is love, anything that is asked in my name, ye shall receive. And what that means in manifestation, 8th and 9th perspective talk, is when you ask for it, when you manifest it, when you desire it from down below in your gut out of love, you get it. But love, there is no scarcity. There's abundance in love. Fear is scarcity. If you're talking about it up here, you're not going to get it. It's absolutely all about it being down here. And it's absolutely about allowing the change to occur, because change is neither good nor bad. It's just a trading out of what is for what is to come. That's karma. It's a bank account that just it's the ocean that ebbs and flows. Imagine this. Imagine that the energy pool is the ocean and the water rushes in and you run around and you're going, another wave is coming and I want both. So you run around with a bucket and you try and stop the wave from going back and receding before the next wave comes in. That's scarcity mindset. And that's the mentality you're in when you manifest for change, to avoid or to control change. If you're manifesting to avoid or control change, if you're manifesting because you're afraid, if you're manifesting because you have scarcity, because you're afraid of loss, because you're trying to prevent loss, it is no different than trying to keep a wave on the sand for when the next wave comes in. You are not going to be effective because this karma, this ocean of energy is moving with or without you. Now, resistance is the effort, and this is why they keep talking about resistance. Acceptance is allowing the ebb and flow. Yes, it's time to release that. It's time to receive this. It's time to hold on to that. It's time to release it. Change happens. Change happens. Let it happen. If you love shit like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to, if any of this resonated with you, click on the link below. Tell me which video you watched and which part resonated with you. And I'll get back to you on how the Healing Garden can help you. Take a look at my Linktree account. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.